Welcome back to the Jade and USA podcast. This is the 5th episode we have for you today, and we have a very, very special topic. My name is Josh, and I'm joined by my co-host.
I'm Janie, and if you don't know who we are or what this podcast is about, I'm going to call you a fake fan, and I recommend you go back to the beginning. So yeah, today we're talking about kind of modern dating, things about girls, things about guys, very Gen Z takes on that too.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. We kind of have like a rough idea of what we want to talk about, but I feel like this is just gonna like free flow. And of course, both of our experiences being Gen Z, we're gonna mostly be talking about experiences being the age we are. So if you are not perhaps the same like generation or whatever, some of these things might be confusing or not make sense, but we'll hopefully be able to shed light if you aren't as familiar. But it should be a very fun episode. Yeah.
Should be good. And yeah, if you're above a certain age, some of these things might not make sense to you. Some of them you'll be like, that's a very early 20s thing of them to do. So don't judge. We're living our life.
Yeah. All right. I think we get it right into it. And I think the first thing, it's only right that we kind of talk about being friends. Well, first, I guess we could first talk about, can guys and girls be just friends? Because that seems like the question of like the last 2 years. So what do you think?
Absolutely. I know. I think we have different views on this. I believe guys and girls can be just friends. See, I grew up with brothers. I know what it's like to have a platonic friendship or relationship with a guy. What's your take, Josh?
I think you can be friendly. I could be, friendly with girls, but I don't think I really could truly have a girlfriend that's not someone that's like in a platonic way, because at the end of the day, my wife is going to be the only, female companion that I'm going to need. And when I'm like 30 and married, I'm not going to need any sort of like fulfillment through other females to that. I wouldn't need to reach out to or like keep up with like other women other than my wife.
And then I feel like it's a little toxic to think of women, I don't know, like they're only potential like wives, and they're not like people who can elevate you as a person and help you out and give you new takes and, I don't know, give you advice, things like that.
Yeah, I feel like I can still get advice. I can get like new perspectives from like other girls, but I'm not like asking them like, oh, like how, like, I don't know, like how is your guy life going? Like, I'm not like a friend in the sense that a girl is a friend with you, like two girlfriends,
Yeah.
I just feel like there's just like I said, you can be friendly and like have cordial conversations. I have plenty of girls that I feel like I have good relationships with, but I wouldn't call them friends where I'm like catching up with them all the time.
Okay. I think,
yeah,
actually, from our previous conversations, I feel like we also have different definitions of friends. Like, I don't know, if I'm like friends with someone at some point and like it's not like anything bad happens or whatever, but we're just distant, I still call them my friend. So it's like, I don't know. I know there's like varying degrees of that.
That's true. Yeah, it's a good call. I feel like the definition of friend is an important barrier if we're having an argument about what it means to be
Mm-hmm.
a friend. If you need a friend, if guys and girls can be
Okay.
friends, I think it's definitely possible. But I just like feel like it's not really for me
Mm-hmm.
because like if you were like friends and you went like kindergarten together and you've had like years and years of memories and things, like you were so young. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Like it happens, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like generally it's kind of hard because guys most of the time don't view it as platonic, even if the girl does. That's actually the main point. Is that a lot of times guys don't think it's platonic. The girl might think it is, but the guy doesn't.
That's crazy. Monkey brain.
It's a harsh truth. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't know if I could back my case up too much. Besides saying like, I feel like I have guy friends, but like we're not like we don't chat every single day or every week like me and some of my girlfriends do. So it is different, I guess. But I don't know. I still consider them my friends. I need a backup.
yeah, I think the test is, this the age old test. If you aren't sure of where the guy stands, your guy friend, quote unquote, you tell him one night that you're drunk and
What?
you confess your liking to him, or you say like, oh, like come over or something like that. Just like, obviously this is just a hypothetical scenario. Most of the time the guy's gonna be like, oh, like I'm down. So
That's
that just
true.
shows that it's not platonic. So it might be platonic from the girl's side, but from the guy's side, just. But see, I'm not partaking. I'm not even trying to say like, oh, I'm like friends with this girl. Like, I'm aware that that's how things are. So that's why I'm just locking in on finding my wife, as you like to say. I'm obsessed with. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I guess that's fair. Yeah, that is fair. So, what are your feelings on like girl best friends and guy best friends? Like,
Like if if my girl I was talking to had a guy best friend, that would be super, super sus. Because that guy's not, to him, she is not just his best friend. He's trying to make it more than friends. I don't know. Think about it. Girls are very like emotional, right? And they like the emotional connection. And once you get emotionally connected with like the opposite gender, assuming you're both like straight or whatever, you're gonna get pretty close to each other, and the guy's gonna have a chance. And even if the girl says it's platonic, when you connect with someone like on that level over time,
that's it.
it's just not set up to be like good. So
Okay.
I would be. That's a big red flag for me, I guess, is if like she has a guy best friend.
Okay, but what if he isn't straight? Like I have also one of my other good friends who's a girl. She has a guy best friend, and like he's bi, and like I don't know. Like, does that make a difference?
Well, see, I don't know about. I feel like if you're gay, like
But he's
that's not even.
He's not,
It's
like,
like comparing
fully.
apples and oranges, but like that's not even a full. I'm saying if he was gay, then that's basically like having a girlfriend.
Okay,
because
yeah.
you guys aren't interested in the same thing. But if he's bi, I have no experience whatsoever with that because I feel like not everyone's like 50-50 bi, right?
Yeah.
Is that crazy to say? There's like a. It's like
There's a preference usually by them, but I don't.
So yeah, depending on the preference, then I feel like that determines it. But
Okay.
me personally, I have never had experience in that scenario.
Okay.
But I would just default to whatever the distribution of your liking dudes, liking girls is, and then going off that. But yeah, if he's like gay or something, then like,
Maybe
what are you
I don't
gonna
care.
do?
Okay. Yeah. Obviously.
It's like a girlfriend.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah. Okay. So then we go on to being. Well,
Well, what do you think about if a guy you're talking to has a girl best friend?
Oh yeah. It's definitely a little bit suspicious. I think I would have to like see how they like hang out or like behave together. I think if it's like very obvious that like she's like flirty or whatever, then it's like, oh, big red flag. But if it's just like they're platonic friends, especially if they've like known each other since childhood or whatever, I feel like that's fine. That's a pass.
Mm-hmm. So your immediate reaction, not having first person seen how they interact, you just hear like that he has a girl best friend. Are you sus or are you not sus?
I'm a little sus. It also depends on how much
Because
she brings her up, I guess.
Are you sus because you think she might be interested in him, or are you sus that he might be interested in her?
Oh, I was thinking she would be interested in him.
Okay.
I feel like kind of the same. Yeah, same scenario.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that moves us on to the next section that we have here, talking about different types of guys and different types of girls. I know you have on here like a pick-me girl versus like a girl's girl. Do you want to go into that?
I feel like,
and maybe where you fall into.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what I fall into? That might be hard. Okay, this is, you know, the meme. It's like the dichotomy of it all. It's like, I feel like as a girl, it's like hard. Like sometimes you fall into like the girl's girl section. Sometimes you fall into like the pick me girl. And I guess it does depend on the scenario. And like not everything is black and white. I tend to think it's black and white, but I guess it's not. And I think I struggle sometimes with like some jokes I laugh at. I'm like, that's not very girl's girl of me. Or like some like things I've done before. I'm like, and this is all about like perception or whatever that I'm like worried about. It's like, oh, is that like too pick me of me? Like, am I trying to cater to like the male gaze, whatever? And I don't know. It's like hard as a girl. I feel like guys, like, they don't even like register for the most part unless it's like extreme, like pick me behavior. But yeah, as a girl, it's like hard to like toe the line because it's like, I don't know. So I will say, for me, like I'm a girl's girl, as in I would never let a girl be like in danger, like whatever. Like I would always kind of like, I don't know, if a girl came up to me and she was like, oh my god, this guy's following me, can you like pretend to be my friend? Like obviously I would. But I'm also a hater first. So if a girl is wearing something crazy or wacky, I'm gonna say something about it. Like, well, not to their face, but like I do a little bit of whispering behind my hand. Or just like, yeah, just like some things like girls say, I'm like, and I'll like talk about it with my friends. So it's not very girl's girl for me. But then the pick me side, like I grew up with brothers, so I do like kind of have interests like that could be like I like video games sometimes, I like sports sometimes. I don't know, does like that make me a pick me if I'm like, yeah, I'd much rather go to a football game than to go get a pedicure? Like, I don't know. So that's where I stand. I'm like 1 foot in each side, I think.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's behavioral rather than just like, I don't know if the better way to put it is like just who you are, or like is it like actions, or is it like you either like your personality? If that makes sense.
I don't know.
Because you were saying like very obviously like,
yeah,
girl things, like of course I feel like any girl would be like if your girl's being followed and you get it like approached saying like, yo, I need help, like I wouldn't say that makes you a girl's girl.
Oh,
I was
okay.
thinking more like,
Yeah, give me an example.
I feel like a pick me girl is like someone who like needs male validation and stuff, and like will just say stuff in like group settings to make guys laugh or get a reaction out of guys. Will just say like wild things just so that guys, like, even if it's bad, will like acknowledge it. So that's what I think about pick me girl. I think it's like a maturity thing. And then a girl's girl, I think, is more either like does not care, like truly just does not care about what guys think, or are like secure enough where they don't need like validation so outwardly. That's my opinion of it.
Okay. I don't know. I think it's just like up to. For me, it's just kind of how I feel like other people are perceiving me, not necessarily like I know myself, but like I feel like in some circumstances, it's like someone outside of me would be like, "Oh, that's such a pick me. That's such a girl's girl thing to do." I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What would you think?
I've only really heard of pick me. I didn't really know like girl's girl was like the like exact opposite of like pick me. I've heard of like a girl's girl, but I didn't know there were like different sides of each coin.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of opposite. I don't know. It's just like some like girls are like so extremely like, oh, you can't judge another girl for their like what they like or what they're obsessed with or whatever, or it's just like, I don't know. And it's like to a fault almost. It's like they do something that's like questionable or just like in a regular person's mind is like, what the heck? And like a girl's girl will be like, she's fine, don't judge her. Like she's just a girl, or I don't know. And it's just like a blanket like excuse or statement or cover up.
I see. I see. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think that's where we land. I don't think you're either one or the other, really. Because it sounds like you could be both.
Yeah. Maybe it's a spectrum.
So what do you think? So okay, so you said you think you're one, or you think you're both?
Yeah.
Basically, that's what you said. Okay, so that just shows you can't be.
Cop out.
It's not. They're not mutually exclusive. Which is fine. I feel like being one or the other is like not great. So, interesting. Okay, interesting discussion there. Yeah, this is not something I'm very well versed in.
That's okay. What are your thoughts about nice guys, though? Okay. I feel like in the Gen Z definition of nice guys, it's always the guys who are like, they're just pandering to women, and they have like, I don't know, they'll just like do anything they can to like get a girl, but then if they're rejected, they're always like, oh, you are ugly anyways. Or if like they act like their friend, like a girl's friend, and then they get upset because she's not interested in them romantically, I feel like that's a nice guy move. It's like, well, you shouldn't be friends with girls in the first place. If you're interested romantically, you should pursue them romantically, maybe. That's what I think nice guys are.
Yeah. I think nice guys, as if you know the saying, like nice guys finish last. Like that's a whole thing. Nice guys are basically like dudes that like will lean like hand and foot on like a girl, and will just be too desperate and available, and there's just like, it's not obviously like the word nice, you think of like kind and like compassionate, which are good traits, but I think when we think of nice guys, it's more like the desperation idea, which inherently is not good when you're trying to find a partner. So that is kind of like where it comes from. Think about like them blowing up your phone or something, saying like, oh, I'll like take you out on a date and like I'll pay, like just tell me when, like texting you again like, oh, are you still there?
Yeah.
Like that's like a nice guy. He's like very nice and like kind-hearted, but I think being called a nice guy is maybe one of the worst like things a girl can say to you. Is like, oh, he's so sweet, oh, he's so nice. Like, nah, you're cooked, dude. You're cooked. You don't want to be the nice guy. You just want to be like, because that's what it means. It's like, you're like, he's like nice, but he's like desperate, and he's like, yeah, too available.
Okay.
So there's definitely a huge epidemic, I think, of guys like that, especially today.
Are you anti-simp?
And yeah, you just got to be better than that. What?
Are you like anti-simp? You're like against the guys who are
What
like.
do you mean?
Actually, I don't know.
Am I a simp?
No,
like, am I against being a simp, or like, do I like?
Like, you condemn guys who are like too nice to their girlfriends or romantic interests, or like, I don't know.
I'm not saying. Okay, I think you're trying to hit me with a gotcha or something.
No,
I think like, I'm just saying like, guys cannot be like giving their entire like being and like basically in the parasocial relationship with a girl. Like, you have to have shit going for you. Like, you have stuff going for you. So in that way, like, you can't be like a simp, because like no girl's gonna respect someone that like has nothing going for them and will like be walked all over. That's what I'm saying. Like, anti-simp. I'm not saying that like you shouldn't love your woman. Okay. You shouldn't like really care about your woman. You shouldn't like listen to her and like be thoughtful for her. There's a fine line.
Okay, yeah. Good. I do want to talk about the most recent nice guy I encountered. I've already told you about this. Actually, he was our #1 fan on YouTube, apparently. This dude...
you should call him out like that? What if he's watching?
He said he unsubscribed. So if he's watching, that's his problem. But this guy who's all up in my DMs, he like... I don't know. He's like the type of dude who's like talking to himself in my DMs, like sliding up on my stories, like, "Oh my god, where is that?" Or being like, "Where do you live again?" Like, "Oh my god, leave me alone." Anyways, I have been like subtly posting about this podcast on my Instagram, like very subtly. So like honestly, not a lot of people know about it. So I feel like, but anyways, he like took it upon himself to follow our Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube, like obsess over all the videos. And he said, oh my god, he had like his like psychotic break in my DMs the other day. And he like sent me this voice message and he was so mad. He was like, oh my god, or wait. Yeah, I think his first message was like, "You unfollowed me? Like, and to think I've been listening to all of your podcasts and playing it on repeat in the background, and you just do that?" And he was like, "I was gonna ask you on a date." I'm like, okay, buddy, like, I don't really care. And then he got like so mad about it. And then I was like, what? And then I got like a little pissed because I was like, what the fuck kind of like game are you playing at? You think that's gonna like give you brownie points because you're listening to all my podcasts? Like, I don't care, to be honest. And I don't know, he was like very much a fake fan, but then he sent me all these voice messages and then he was like, wow, you're gonna be like that? I'm gonna unsubscribe. And I don't know, if he's listening to this, that would be hilarious. So, but like, that's like the nice guy thing. Like, he didn't listen to our podcast or like want to discuss it or subscribe out of his own interest. He did it because he thought I would be like, oh my god, you're so hot for doing that. Like, no, I don't know.
I don't know if okay, so I don't know if that was like I would call it a nice guy. I think he's just a psycho.
Okay, weird guy.
Yeah, he's just like, and I think his problem is that he thinks he's way up here, or sorry, way up here, and he's actually like truly like down here.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had that like lesson and like moment, that teaching moment that like I feel like all guys have to go through, where you're like it's like a slap in the face, and you realize like where you truly stand, and like you can't be like embarrassing yourself like that, thinking that you're gonna like pull a girl by being like a complete weirdo. So
yeah, we should do a whole segment on
that's
weirdos like him. Could go on.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can like speak to that. I think that would be like a you thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah. You don't have any psycho girls in your
like,
DMs over this podcast yet?
Yeah. I mean,
you're doing this wrong.
There's so many like
yeah.
Yeah, it's like the whole reason I'm doing this stuff.
Wait,
yeah.
that's a nice guy. Just kidding.
No.
Yeah. Well, one day when we're famous, you'll experience it too.
No. Yeah.
Get it.
But yeah, I think, like I said, like every guy goes through like this arc of like you realize you have to like level up and like become someone that not like that people respect. Like it's not just what you look like going to the gym, oh, you have a good physique, like people will respect that. Not just that, it's like your actions, your mindset. And I think it clearly it takes a long time for some people, and I think there are like grown adults out there that are truly still like behind. I think a lot of them can be like are pretty much lost causes at this point. But I think the advent of like social media and things like that, where people can be, but essentially can do no work to try to like interact with people. Like all it takes is like opening Instagram, a few taps, and then like you have technically like direct access to like a guy or a girl you want to talk to, like through the DMs or something. So you just say outlandish things, pay girls money to like get like a semi-nude photo. Like,
yeah,
don't get me started on all that. That is like the sorriest thing ever. But yeah, it's like a huge problem. And I think unfortunately, yeah, I can say that like every guy needs to like level up and like become aware, but I think it's not for everyone, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Makes other people look better, so I guess
I guess
if
so.
you look at it that way, it's not that bad.
Yeah. So like with the whole like guys, I feel like they don't realize like it's more than just looks. I think that's what you said. It's because I feel like look at women and like it is just looks sometimes, and like they almost don't care about their personality, so they think themselves, they're like, what does it matter my personality, because they're just interested in looks, and it's really like that's not how it goes. You know. I don't know.
I have a question. I do have a question with this guy. Did you ever at any point say like, I'm not interested in you, like stop, or did you like just kind of keep feeding it, kind of?
I was like, so I'm always, and like maybe I should learn my lesson, but I feel like I'm always cordial at the beginning. If I'm like, I don't know, like I'm like generally nice and I'll like respond or whatever, but then once it gets to a certain point where like he is like asking super intimate details and I'm like, no, I don't want to like tell this random stranger on the internet like where I live, or you know, or just like they like keep like they send out heart eye emojis like every story or whatever, and like one, it's like nothing I can respond to. I'm just like double tap or whatever. So like this guy, I was just like leaving him on red, or I try to not open them in general because Instagram DM sends like a scene at 38 minutes ago or whatever thing. So if I like know it's like a dude I'm like not trying to whatever antagonize, I'll just like try and keep it like unopened. but then it's hard because I'm one of those people who has to like, I like clearing my notifications. Like, I don't understand how people have 340 like text message like notifications. I'm like, get it out of there. Like, so I'll either read it or whatever. But on Instagram DMs, I struggle, and it goes away. Like, the little notification badge goes away after a week, but then it's a week of that stupid little red dot, and I don't know. It's just a whole thing. But generally, I just don't respond.
You didn't really answer my question, so you just stopped responding.
Yeah, I stopped responding, and he would like talk to himself in my DMs. But then he sent that voice note, and I was like, "That's weird. I don't want to listen to the voice note." And then it got weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't like this situation, but it just reminded me of something. I'm not saying that like you should have like told him like the truth of how you were feeling, because obviously like he should have gotten the point, right? But I think sometimes, especially this can maybe segue into like the next section we're going to talk about, but like ghosting and stuff, like if you go on a date, like I've gone on like dates and stuff, and then like the girl just like ghosts, and like even like think it goes well or something, and she like seems like she's like says, "Oh yeah, I had a good time," and then it just like ghosts. I would much prefer you say like, "Oh, like sorry, I just wasn't like physically attracted to you," or like, "Oh, like seems like we're in different headspaces about like what we're looking for," or something. Or even if it's like, "I didn't like the way you did this, like sorry, I think like it'd be better off as friends." I would much rather prefer that than like just a ghost, because then I know like maybe I can learn from this and I can like be better for next time. But if I get ghosted, I have no idea. I'm just like thinking forever, like, what did I do? What did I do that night that she like changed her mind or something, you know?
For me,
but yeah,
I think it's different ghosting if you've never met in person versus ghosting if you have been on dates, you know? So
yeah, I'm talking about like if you've met in person.
I feel like whenever I have ghosted people I've met in person, it's always been like a mutual ghost. So I'm like, I don't care. To be honest, I have some guys that I probably should tell I'm not interested in, but I feel bad. Like, you think I'm a mean person? You think I'm the type to be like, no, you're so ugly, bye. Like, but I'm not. Like,
obviously not say
that.
Couple.
I don't know, but like, I don't know if I would even call them my friend.
You don't have to. Well, if you think they're ugly or something, just say like, "Sorry, I don't think like we should keep talking," or like, "I don't think there's anything like we're gonna work out," or something like that. Yeah, that's all it has to be.
Yeah.
So then I know, like, okay, stop putting energy into this person, even if like it's fizzling out and I should pick up on it. I'm just talking about like when they might think that like they still have a chance, but you know that there's no chance, so they might be just best like just to know, or just like just say it, because ghosting is like, I think it's just a bad practice.
Okay, well, I might have some texts I need to send out after this.
It's okay. You can take your time. But okay. So next up on our little agenda here is, how much do you like share with your parents regarding like dating and like relationships and stuff? I feel like you have some to say here.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious to know.
You always know when I have something to say. I don't tell them like anything. Like, I very much keep it on the down low. Even here, I'm like nervous. Like, they might be listening. I don't want them to know anything about me. I'm just an enigma. I'm just floating through space and time, and at some point, I'll just have the coolest boyfriend ever, and then they'll be like, yeah, that's cool. I don't know. But my family, like my brothers and even like their significant others, were like on a big group chat. Like, they'll make jokes about how I will probably end up, like, I'll get married at some point and then just tell them after. I just don't tell them anything.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
What about you?
Oh, so you don't think, okay, well, so it just seems like you're just so secretive and
But
I feel like that begs more curiosity from them if you're so secretive, you know?
I don't think so. I feel like they're used to. I don't hear anything about them,
Okay.
although they've been in committed relationships for like 6 years. But
Oh.
I also, with my last ex, oh my god, whole can of worms. But like, I let him meet all of my family, and then he embarrassed the shit out of me. So like now I'm like, I don't want to, unless I know I'm marrying a guy, I don't want to introduce him to my family because that was so embarrassing. So,
are your parents ever asking like, oh, you know, are you talking to any guys, or like, how's your dating life going? Is there any like that, or is there just not? They're not even asking.
They don't really ask. They don't ask. I don't tell. So.
Oh, so it doesn't even seem like it's like,
I don't know.
Like you shouldn't be
But I don't know.
They're not even curious about it. So then,
I mean, they might be, but they
something.
just know I don't know. Us, yeah. And then,
they just know that you don't share really.
yeah, and at this point,
So they don't
for
bother
the past
asking.
like year and a half, it's been nothing. So nothing I'm interested in.
So for me, I'll like tell my like mom like about like bad dates I went on, or like, this girl, like I had a really good date with her, but then she ghosted me. I don't know. I feel like she can be like pretty like empathetic with that. I, like told her like about like my last relationship and like, oh, it just didn't work out because of this. Like she'll like ask me, I'll just be honest with her, you know, something like but I do feel like it is like different with like a son versus like a daughter, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta be a little bit more like if I had like one daughter or something, I'd probably be like much more protective and like worried about like where other dudes are out there and stuff.
Yeah.
But as like the guy and like the son, you're kind of like it's like the other way. So
they're like, come on, chop chop.
definitely aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely aware of that. So, but no, she's also like I've made her very aware, and like even like her friends, like kids and stuff, like her coworkers, kids, like sons and stuff, just having like generally just having issues and like struggles finding like a partner in 2024. I think that is kind of true. It is like a lot harder these days, but
yeah. And then the whole being like the only girl thing, I think, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, you know, things are normalized in the media and like in modern dating or whatever. So it's like, it's just, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like there's like, I grew up in like a very conservative type of town and whatever. And it's always like, it was like always pounded in my head. Like, don't be that girl. Don't dress like that kind of girl. Don't, whatever, do those kind of things. And I don't know. I feel like that's always just like tied to like dating, and I don't know. It's like an uncomfortable like space for a girl and like an only girl in a basically all male family.
That's a good like thing to bring up because I didn't even think about that. I can see how that could be a bit uncomfortable. Yes. So hence why you want to move to a place.
It's true.
Bigger city.
Yeah. And like to kind of put into context my like town and stuff, like obviously like religion is a pretty big thing, but like even in our public schools, like I went to public school all my life, we had such a strict dress code, and I remember getting in trouble for wearing leggings. Like even like my butt was covered. Like whenever they did allow leggings, like later in my high school years, your like butt had to be covered. Like I don't know, they couldn't be like a certain color or pattern or whatever. Like very weird. Like holes in jeans were not allowed, and like shoulders you couldn't show. And it's like, I don't know, it's just like crazy, like the weird conservative like mindset that my entire town has. So like anything like revealing midriffs, like shoulders, spaghetti straps, whatever, I feel like everyone would always like whisper about like, oh, she's like dressing like one of those girls, or I don't know, just like a weird thing projected onto all of the young girls in my town.
Yeah. yeah, I didn't really have to think about that much as a guy, but yeah, I can see how that could be like, especially like retroactively thinking back and being like, it was kind of weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just like feelings of like shame that always comes up with like, I don't know, just like things like that.
Okay, well, I think we can get into like modern dating and like how it's kind of hard to find like people nowadays. It's like, oh, like all we got is Hinge. Oh, all we got is like dating apps. Like post grad, especially like once you're out of school, you know, being someone who's been out of school for a while. Thankfully, I moved to a new city that has like pretty populated and pretty diverse, right? But yeah, I feel like we're just so addicted to our phones these days and stuff, and like it's just so easy to like, oh, like everyone's on Hinge or everyone's on Tinder or something, so just like go on there. That's how you can like find people. But I realized how superficial and like more magnified like the problems that exist are on those apps. Like you could just say some small thing that like objectively isn't even that crazy, and a girl would take like such offense at it, and we'll ghost you on there, or we'll just like disqualify you because you messaged something wrong. Like this would like never happen if you were like face to face.
Yes.
Like you could do more, but I don't know. It just seems like you're pushed to like find someone through that rather than like through organic things. I think it's kind of changing a little bit now, but I think generally still like, you know, it's not crazy to hear like, oh, where'd you meet your boyfriend? Oh, we met on Hinge. Like that's not like a crazy thing to hear.
Yeah.
Like as much as it was like 4 years ago or something, you know?
I feel like I have a lot to say about dating apps kind of, but like, yeah, the whole rise in popularity of dating apps, I feel like that almost takes like in-person like run-ins and like even like people approaching each other in person. I almost just like completely, I don't know, shadows that. And like I feel like there's less guys that are willing to like go up to a girl in person now because they'll be like, well, I'll just go to my dating app instead and I can sit on my couch and like find 5 other just as hot girls. Like, why would I approach her in person kind of thing?
That's true.
And then I also feel like there's like a discrepancy of like, I don't know, how many matches or likes do guys normally get, you think, on average?
Oh, yeah, I think there's like some statistic out there saying like only 10%, like 10% of guys on dating apps match with 90% of the girls. Something like 90% of the matches are of 10% of the guys. So when you think about it that way, 90% of like the bottom 90% of guys on dating apps are fighting for 10% of the matches. So it's very, there's like a huge gap with that. And obviously, yes, girls are going to have way more success on dating apps than guys. Like you don't even have to like see any statistics. Like you can just think about it. Like girls are going to get way more matches because they have the power per se. So you just like, especially as a guy, like you are just not set up well, like on dating apps, especially because guys usually don't have good photos.
True.
Guys usually aren't creative in the way that they like want to have a cohesive like profile and everything.
Yeah.
Pretty boring, right? Even if they might be like super handsome, super charming, like, oh, his photo is like not great, like X.
Yeah.
Like you're just setting yourself up for failure pretty much as a guy, like getting on a dating app. Which like brings me back to the point where it's like kind of sucks that like this is the thing you do now. But yeah, huge gap with like the top guys are getting like all the matches basically, and it's like a small percent.
That's interesting. And I think honestly, I think it would be so fun to be like a dating coach, like an online dating coach for like guys, because like their photos are so horrible and their profiles are so boring. And it's like, it'd be so fun. Like, pay me money to like clean it up, I'll do it. But yeah, like the whole thing you said about how girls will like ghost you over like something you said or like how you say it or whatever, like I totally do that. I'll be like, oh, that was a boring response.
Sure you do.
I'm not gonna answer. I don't know. But especially if I don't know them, I don't feel bad. But
yeah, but it's just like crazy. Like every girl has like a different expectation.
Yeah.
So it's like one girl might appreciate this witty but risky like message that you'll send, but another girl will be like, "Ew, why is he saying that so soon?" Mm-hmm. And then like, ghost, unmatched. Yeah, you know what I mean? And you just have no idea like what way, like what path to take, because you have no idea who they are.
That's true.
This is pretty frustrating. I feel like there's just so many like matches that could be something, but because of like a silly like message or like timing thing, like weird nuance within like the Hinge message section, like the relationship never happens. And it's just what it is. What was I gonna say? I saw some. It'll come back to me.
Okay, well, I'll keep talking.
You have something to add?
Yeah. So also, actually, I'll give some tips for guys on dating apps. The photos.
Oh no, I remember. Sorry. I remember because it was about tips. There's like whole companies now, or like people that like specialize in taking photos for dating profiles. And like that's like a huge, like there's like a market for that now. I was like watching some video and they're like, yeah, I like help guys, like, no, it was a podcast I was listening to, and this girl like helps guys like specifically with like dating, like from a girl's perspective. And it's like includes like, you know, like style and stuff, like haircut, and like also like new photos and building out your dating profile. It's just like a huge market for this, which just shows how many people are on these apps now.
That's so crazy.
Go on.
Well, now I'm going to plug any male viewers. Hit me up. I'll help you out with your Hinge profile. Pay me money. But, shoot. What was I going to say? Oh, tips. Photos, big deal on dating apps. And I'll talk about the photos I hate to see. Or, like, photos that, like, tank your profile. Or, like, I'll immediately, like, swipe left or click X or whatever. I feel like selfies that are like low quality, like bad angles, like, hold on, that are like this or something, like those selfies, immediate swipe left. And then I feel like the fish pictures are so overdone. Anything distasteful, which I know is like funny to like guy friends, if like you're like, it's like a picture of you like mooning the camera, like guys are like, oh, this is so funny. Like, no girl wants to see that, trust me. And that is like bombing your chances at getting any matches. That those like voice prompts where the guy is like trying to sound sexy or like trying too hard, and they're just like
little pillow talk. Little pillow talk on the Hinge.
Yeah, wait, let me see. Like, when they're like, can I do this? Can you? Is my voice low now?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. When they're like,
no, your voice is the same.
Oh, what the heck? Hold on. Wait, why is my mic preset not? No way. Okay. That's embarrassing.
That would have been good.
That would have been so good if I could switch. Okay, whatever. But if they're like, yeah, like, I can't do the voice. My like ideal Sunday night is just like sitting back, opening a broski, like, I don't know, like some dumb, doing a cold plunge, like that's so boring and annoying and like so fake. It's like, left. And then I'm trying to think of what other. I actually made a PowerPoint my freshman year. My friends and I were doing a PowerPoint night, and mine were like It's called Tinder 101 because like that's what my school like the main app was, like Tinder, not like Hinge. I know like the connotations are worse, but that's just like what it was. And there's like a slide I had like all of the red flags on a dating profile. So if you're in the military, red flag. Oh, I don't like
Serve our country and protect us?
ugh.
Disqualified. Sorry.
Go out and go to war. What are you doing here on a dating app? I don't know. That it was like, oh shoot, I'd have to bring it up at some point. What was it? Oh, I hate the like overdone like Hinge prompt answers. It's like special talent, getting my hoodie back after you've borrowed it. Like that is every other dude's Hinge profile. Or it's like first date idea, let's get drinks. Like be original. I don't know. That's I had a lot to say about that. I feel like we could do a whole episode on that. Dating tips.
I think you could. You definitely could.
Yeah. But anyways,
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. Dating apps are dumb. I feel like people should go back to meeting in person, and they should also introduce their friends to other friends. I feel like that's a good opportunity. Like you already
They used to do
I know,
it.
Yeah.
It's a timeless method.
Exactly. Like your friend has vetted the guy, they know he's a good guy, like just start introducing your friends to your other friends. Beat the apps.
Yeah. I second that. That needs to happen more. That's kind of the bummer not being in college anymore, because
Oh yeah.
you just had like a pool of people that are all, your age basically. All have different classes together. You're meeting new people every semester, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So my thing is like I wish I found the one in college, because I feel like I have like a couple people I know that like did that, and they like moved the same city together, and then they're good. They don't have to do any of the make new friends and find like a partner in a new city or anything like that. Like they are good. They can just have their young adult life together.
Nice.
That's the ideal. So
Yeah. I actually none of my close friends have kept the same boyfriend they've had in college, so yeah, it's kinda sad. But I know they'll find great guys soon-ish, hopefully. Yeah. Ooh,
yeah.
yeah. But I know,
Okay.
yeah, the people I know more so have met their significant others in high school and gotten married already and are starting to have kids. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like most of my friends are like single, and they had dated and stuff. It just like doesn't work out. So
Yeah.
we're not alone. Not alone out there. So
Yeah. Yeah. Same with my friends. I think actually this summer, at some point, we were all single. So fun, single girl summer, whatever that means.
hot girl summer.
Oh yeah. But crazy.
Yeah. Anything else on dating apps? I think for me, like the only thing I want to like add is like, it's not just guys that have like bad profiles. I feel like girls also have bad profiles. I can tell like girls just have. I'll make it quick because I know we're kind of like running a long time, but I don't enjoy seeing like one word answers for like every single thing. It's like, is there anything else you want to say? Like I get like you don't want to have like a whole paragraph for answer to your prompt, but also just like saying like me for like everything. Like
Hey.
there's like girls that say like I don't know, like they'll just pick any prompt that they could answer like basically just saying like if you like love me or like me. I don't know. I mean, it was like I think it's like quirky or something. I don't think it's quirky personally or funny. So they're like a dime a dozen. And then there's the girls that like I don't know. They have photos with like other dudes. I don't like photos when there's other dudes in the photo.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like that's weird.
Yeah.
And same if like a guy has a photo with like other girl in there. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
I just like, even if it's clearly not like someone that you're not like dating or something, like I just feel like it just doesn't need to be there.
Yeah. You just called out two of my two parts of my profile. But the one that has another dude in it, it's only because he's wearing a shark costume. So I will cover his face. I guess that's unattractive. But I'm just thinking about
or like
myself.
when they say like, oh, you could be like his replacement or something, and it's just like an old photo of like her and her ex or something with like an emoji over his face. It's like, okay. It's like, okay. I don't know.
You should talk about
But I don't really, not that, what?
You should talk about the girls who catfish.
Oh. Yeah, girls catfish a lot. And I will say, I think a lot of times it's more rare that the guy catfishes because the girls usually have better photos, right? Guys usually have worse photos. It's actually like you're more likely to be a reverse catfish as a guy because if your photos are bad, then like they see you, you like don't look as bad, or you probably look better, honestly, than like a horrible angle photo that you have. So I've had like multiple dates where I've pull up there. The photos are looking okay. I'm like, okay, like it's not bad. Then you pull up to the place, and then the girl is not looking like her photos at all. And then you can't just say like, oh, like, yeah, you don't look as good as like I thought. Like you can't say that, and then you gotta like go through the whole date knowing that it's just you're just not interested anymore. But that happens a lot. Guys, be careful out there. Like these girls know their angles. These girls know the filters. They know their little Photoshop. They know. I don't know, but I guess you would never know until you get in front of them. So can't really do anything about it. But just be careful.
Have you ever like a girl who's like catfished or whatever like come up to you and she's like, "Oh, are you Josh?" Have you ever been like, "No," and like walked away?
Oh no,
okay.
No, I'm not going on that many dates.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, I wouldn't do that. That's like way too mean. That's like way too mean.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that. But yeah, that's. I mean, it's not every time, but it happens. It happens a lot.
It's happened. Are we getting close to an hour? Should we make a part 2?
Yeah, we're actually at an hour right now, so we can make it part 2. I know this was it's kind of scattered.
I know.
But I think we did touch on a lot of, at least for the first part of what we wanted to talk about this episode regarding male and female dynamics and dating apps, and but we still have a lot to talk about. So stay tuned for part 2, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode about relationships.
Yeah, men, hit me up. I'll help you fix your profile.
Oh, I thought you were saying like
not like weirdo.
I'm single,
no,
hit me up.
Oh my god. Yeah, nice guys. You better be watching my podcast and repeat. It's the only way I'll date you.
Start farming views for us.
Exactly. I would not consider you until you've made 4 fake accounts and subscribed to us.
Did you guys hear that? I expect at least four new followers, 4 new subscribers after this. I'm just kidding.
Perfect. Okay.
But
so yeah, listen to the next episode.
Yeah, stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Follow on Spotify, rate on there as well. We're posting on both. But yeah, I don't think I missed anything else. But if you have any questions, leave them down below. Can go through those comments and whatnot. But Until next time.
Bye.
Bye. See you guys.